as I say, I've been so busy with just about absolutely with private practice and life and etc. that the YouTube stuff has just kind of fallen off the face of the earth. I haven't done a video in probably months now. It's something has to give, and I'm afraid it's the thing that takes up a week's worth of work for zero.
Yeah.
Zero return.
You mean you need to make money in real life? What?
I know. There's this thing called food. Yeah, and mortgages and children.
The youths.
Yeah.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the RPG Therapist, where once again, after 3 months, we're gonna play. Is this session 2 or session 3? I genuinely can't remember.
3. Good. 4. Oh, dang.
I have 4.
Oh yeah, no, 4 because we did the session 0 stuff, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 4.
So,
4.
it gets confusing.
I remember what happens before this morning. Honest. Where we will have session 4 of Avatar Legends, where we are going through the Avatar Legends role-playing game starter sets. And I believe, as I recall, because I've really read up on this, we are playing the Pirates of the Crimson Sails. Joining me as usual is the beautiful Charlene, the amazing Emily, and the mid-level Eric. I mean,
Oh, rude.
pew 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 pew. How's everybody doing? Been busy? Eric, you had lots of marking to do, which is part of the reason why it's been so long. Has the marking been done yet?
Oh, that contract has run its course. I am, as of right now, I am not a college professor for any foreseeable time. So right now I'm just focusing on, like you said, all the other things that we've been ignoring to do other tasks. So
yeah, life, the universe, and everything. Emily, I believe you've moved into a new house, which is exciting.
It is, and it's a lot of work, but I love it, so it's fun.
Yeah, I'm looking at moving out of this place fairly soon, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm strong enough for all the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
I
got carpal tunnel from signing all those papers for sure.
Yeah.
You sign your life away. It's the most nerve-wracking feeling. Like once you're done, you're like, did I do the right thing? I'm not sure.
I'm responsible for that pile of bricks on the end of that road. Oh my god.
And I like to think I'm a somewhat intelligent person, like not crazy intelligent, but just like a mid-level, as we were saying. But man, when they talk financial stuff, I'm just there like, I'm sorry, what am I signing? Oh, okay, that's what that means. Great. Like,
just tell me the number and whether or not I can afford it. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Cheers. How about you, Charlene? Life, the universe, and everything good?
Yep, just working on private practice stuff. Started in 2 new teen groups. One of them is actually a little bit on the older side, the older teen group. So I'm pretty excited about that. Came up with policies and procedures, and we're using the new policies and procedures now. So we'll see how it goes.
But are any of the games you're playing Avatar related?
No, although I know it's horrible. My teens actually were like, "Well, if you want to do it, sure. We when this one ends, we could play Avatar."
Well, there you go.
They're all for it.
So I believe we've only got a limited amount of time today for various reasons. So let's get underway. I'm going to have to ask somebody to remind us what happened, because I threw away my notes of the last session. And I remember doing it because these little booklets came with the Avatar Legends Kickstarter, and I was using this to write my notes. Last session, I couldn't find this, so I just wrote it down on a piece of paper. Only a couple of weeks ago, I found this piece of paper with random words on it, like bin and Honu. I thought, what the hell is this? Screwed it up and threw it in the bin. I'm like, and I was looking for it. I was like, oh,
This is what he thinks of us, guys.
I know, right?
Trash.
Yeah. Well, when you see when you see the word Honu, H-O-N-U, and out of context, what does that mean?
Well, and let's be honest, we're all going the same thing. Going, I don't have any clients named Honu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, so, what is this? Like, all right, I don't know. Like,
yeah. Look, you do. The camera shows a limited amount of chaos behind me. You have no idea what goes on below this camera.
I have with this, like, I don't have awesome notes. Last thing I have written down and that I can remember is that we were going, the three of us had gone out into the bay to try to start figuring out where we can start, like, poking around and finding, like, who we can contact with, who's safe. We started with one of the outliers on the dancing fleet that was just some weird little boat with a bunch of people that were like, all right, that was nice meeting you all. We're going to go this way now. And I think we were all en route to the next ship, and I don't remember what the next ship was. But we had done that, like, that awkward little engagement, and it was like, you know, captain and the skipper on, like, peyote. It was weird.
Yeah, wasn't he? He was like a artificer or something like that. He was an inventor. Like, he had some explosive stuff on the ship.
I forgot about
that. Yeah, and I was like, uh-oh.
Where is he? Because yeah, I remember the NPC now that you mentioned him, but I can't find him in here because the book's just like.
One of the things we did find out though during that is that Ninka, who's like the pirate leader at the time, like right now,
the high Captain Ninka.
Yeah, them and Mozai don't get along, and we're kind of now in this situation where we just don't want her to find out, like, kind of what we're doing to, like, we don't want to seem like we're dissenting, or, you know, did I say that right? Yes. Yeah. We don't want her to find out that we're, like, kind of snooping around here. And I believe the next ship that we were going to was the military-based one.
Ooh.
At least that's what I have down here.
No, that makes sense. I just say ooh because I'm probably not the person to be talking about that.
Really? What?
What are you talking about?
Okay. Oh yeah. So there we go.
You got the charisma at least.
Yeah, that's it.
You don't strike me as charisma kind of pirates.
Oh, so yeah, you found Yoko, wasn't it? The tech expert who created, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy.
And now you're going to the I can't even say the word, Pyre Howler. So, one thing I think we did decide last quarter, was that we weren't using the balance moves all that much, because obviously a big part of the shows and the game and therapy side of things is, you know, acting in accordance with your emotions, your values and stuff like that. So just going to have to remember to look at that. So if I forget, you guys remember for me? How about that? Cool. So you leave Yoko's ship with all of the bizarre little trinkets lying around, and the Pyre Howler, as I recall, is very, very militaristic and terrifying looking. You see lots of these pirates working around. You know, they move with purpose. You know, these aren't just your run-of-the-mill mercenaries. These are skilled sailors who know how to keep a ship in tight order. As you get closer, you can see that the boat has seen some action. It's, you know, the paint's been, it looks like it's been painted a couple of 100 times in the past week. You know, just keep constantly getting, you know, clearly they go up against firebenders every now and again because there's just charred wood cut off and replaced and then cut off and replaced again. And then, you know, it's there's a phrase over here. It's like painting the fourth bridge, because there's a really big bridge on the further fourth, which is so long, and that you paint it, you know, you've got to repaint it to make sure it doesn't get too weathered. And as soon as you finish painting it, the other end needs painting again. So it's so when you're painting the fourth bridge, it's a job that never stops. This is like that. It's just that, really. It's a ship with lots of sailors moving around on it. So how are you guys getting up close and personal?
As we're like intentionally floating up to this, I'm definitely looking. I'm like, you know, this is why I left the Fire Nation, because these people were just way too serious. These people make me a little uneasy. Now, you'll go back there blowing stuff up while worrisome, which kind of fun.
At least you can cause some chaos.
Yeah, these people on the other hand, they're no fun. Like, anyone got any ideas? Who's really serious? Just like Honu, you're really serious. I mean, scary? Not scary? I don't know what you're thinking.
We'll see.
Like, I just picture Honu like deadpan. We'll see. Like,
yeah, you're right. Straight face.
We'll see.
Meanwhile, me and my mongoose lizard are just over here, like.
I was gonna say, how
Are you up yet? Did you guys like sober up everything after the bar?
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Is
the
it
ice cream cart.
You don't need it yakking over the side of the boat, you know.
I kind of imagine us like sailing and like Balbo like dragging an arm or like his tail like dragging at the side of the boat, being like, "Dude, we're drifting port. Stop."
Yeah, just go.
And our overall mission, just to like kind of recap, our overall mission right now is to try to like recover the stolen items or shipment from the Fire Nation to kind of help with that. It was the Earth Nation that they were going to be giving it to, right?
The Harmony Restoration Movement. We're trying to,
Gotcha.
So that's what I was going to say. So the fact that this ship is burnt to a crisp may be a clue that they were in a scuffle recently.
Yeah.
They may have been involved in getting the stuff.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, are they like, as we see them moving about, are they like fixing and repairing, or are they just doing like ship maintenance?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they've been busy recently. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but then again, it's been a little while since those supplies were taken. So if they are refitting, then it's probably because they've been out again since then. Because don't forget, it's taken a little. In the time scale, it's been the supplies got lifted. Zuko had to learn about it. Then he had to come to find you. Then you had to get to the island. So this isn't the next morning kind of thing.
Yeah.
But
if they're the ones that are going out and interacting and getting shot up by fireballs, maybe they were the ones that got shot up before too.
Chances are.
Well, and how about like, especially since we've like between coming in, a little bit of tooling around that we've done, and then today's, our current out and about, getting like a better feel of the different ships that are out here. Given that what was pilfered was directly from Fire Nation Navy, is there a vibe that there's anyone else that could go toe-to-toe with Fire Nation Navy and get out of it successfully? Or does the Pi Howler seem like the prime candidate? Like, is there anyone else that we're looking going, well, it could have been them? Like, I'm going to go that, like, the bedazzled burning wave probably isn't our prime suspect.
Well, the Renegade Phoenix, I think, didn't we learn that they were, like, kind of chaotic? So, honestly, they could maybe, like, by chance happen to figure that out on their own, an operation like that.
So how are we going to interact with these people? What's our story? I feel
So, so, by the way, are you just having this conversation whilst you're just in a boat, just drifting across the boat?
Yeah, I figure like as we're leaving Yoko on the way to the scary military ship, we're chatting like, all right, like how are we gonna sell this one?
With a vomiting mongoose lizard just leaning over the
Oh, you deserve it. I'm sorry, man. Like, you do. This is what happens.
Stop drinking the salt water.
Well, and he took down a whole ice cream cart too, if you remember. So.
Oh yeah, it's a rough one.
And then got you all barred from that that bar, didn't it? Barred from the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Not the first.
I'm willing to bet that if I show up at that bar without the mongoose lizard, I'll be fine. Who's gonna remember me?
But as for story, I mean, like, guys, it kind of looks like people are busy and working on here. We did learn that they need hired hands. I'm wondering if they'll just take anyone who's willing to work right now. And I don't know who that is, but would be like who would be like our boss, so to speak. But that might get us somewhere, is if we show up willing to work.
What was the dude's name that you knew? Your character knew, Eric.
That was the head of the dancing nobleman fleet. Yeah. That was Mozai. Yeah.
That's not these guys.
No.
That's not these guys.
No.
And
Mozai doesn't get along with these guys' leader. Is that what we said earlier, right?
Well, Mozai's
not getting along with Ninka, like the head honcho.
Yeah, not getting along with the new Pirate King. The old Pirate King, Mozai Doug, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've heard anything about this particular leader yet, which is why I'm like, maybe if we go in and we're like, we're willing to work,
right,
and find some more stuff out by just putzing around and talking.
Yeah.
Do we want to see if maybe we can help them like procure supplies they need to do? Like, I'm willing to bet if they're doing work, especially if they're doing any kind of major repairs, that you do that in port because you don't carry everything you need to fix the boat on the boat. So maybe we can see if we can like supply run for them instead of, I don't know what kind of support vessels they have, if any.
Yeah.
I mean,
along with us.
I mean, to be fair, like, there's a bit of a community around the place. You know, you've got it. It's like your typical like Tortuga kind of setting. You've got merchants, in inverted commas, here, you know, who have their own sources, you know, whether or not they're legally sourced, you know.
It's a pirate city. There are no legal sources.
Exactly. Exactly. It's only illegal if you get caught. But so they probably could get what they need, but it's always worth a look. Like, so Mozai, for example, he's got a fleet of people. You've got the Burning Wave, who are quite happy to be seen as, you know, above board, even though they clearly aren't. So you can, there are ways and means you could infiltrate that side of things if that was what you were aiming to do.
I think they're going with the, hey, we're willing to work story. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and like let them tell us kind of what they need, and we'll take it from there. Does that sound good?
I was just saying, and I'm down. I'm just, my only concern is them splitting us up or like being pulled off our boat, or military crews have a tendency to be kind of conscription based sometimes, and I like being a freelancer.
Yeah, that's where I might step in, since I'm more of a traditional type of person. Like, this is my duty. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, okay, you know, duty.
That was totally bid. Like you said, duty, bid like.
So I wouldn't mind. I think my character would be like, yeah, no problem. Like, this is what I do. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I was the
Honu used to be a pirate as well, so like I'm kind of like comfortable doing whatever they're going to ask us to do, because chances are I've done it before. So, yep.
So I guess we just.
Can you handle being given chores? That's honestly, we can't complain.
Yeah, I mean,
what we're given.
It's not that I can't be given chores, but you know, like as a pirate, I'm naturally not trustworthy. So like pirates steal from pirates, and when you're sizing up who you're going to steal from, you know, some people are a little less desirable to steal from because some people get a lot more angry about it.
Yeah. And listen, we're around some military folks, and if you laugh when they say poop deck, we're done. So I need you to keep it together, is what I'm asking. Are we able to do that?
See, what? Oh my God. We are 4 professionals in middle age, and we just all burst out laughing.
Speak for yourself, man. I just turned 29.
I was trying to be inclusive.
and I have a very simple motto: adult as necessary.
But,
otherwise, I'm 12. So, like, part of me was laughing at poop deck. Part of me has been going. Yeah, because Ben was like, "You
get it out now. Like, get it out now, Ben."
Like, I can totally see Honu saying it seriously. Like, look, when they say poop deck, you can't laugh, and Ben's like because she's so serious, just makes it that much funnier. It's just like,
is there any way, GM? I'm going to totally ask you this question. Is there any way that since my mongoose lizard and I have been on many a drinking spree, that there is a specific concoction that I can give my mongoose lizard to kind of sober up a little bit so that he can come help us?
I would, if you've been on many a drinking spree, then being as you are, and he said uptight, serious about your work, you would be aware that yes, you'd have to make allowances for certain things. So yes, like
so I think whatever message from Liquid IV, we'll use it for your business.
Whatever it is.
What's that bottle with the line running out of it?
Yeah. I feed it to the mongoose lizard so that we sober up a bit so that we can do some work. Because it comes in handy to, like, you know, move stuff around and.
What was that? The wake up juice from Back to the Future.
There we go. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
So I guess at this point we pretty much approach the ship and we're near people. All right. And
they kind of make a point of ignoring you at this stage because A, you're just another boat amongst hundreds of other boats, and B, you're not part of the crew, so therefore, you know, if you just, oh yeah, newbies, am I right?
Oh,
all right.
So,
I think I know how to get their attention.
Yeah, is it entirely a wooden ship, or do they have any kind of like metal plating?
It looks like it started off wooden, and has been refitted over the years. But because let's face it, wood and fire, I know you said don't get on very well, but they kind of get on too well. And being as their main enemy is the Fire Nation, they'll need some armor, but you get the feeling that this boat's been in service a long time.
Do they have a lot of firebenders working on the metal plating at all, or is there like? I'm just trying to assess for a niche to like sell my reason for showing up.
Well,
like, does it seem like they have people working on that as well? That's it. Like,
yeah, I mean, yes, it's literally just with the Navy, with ships, you know, modern times as well as historically, there is always another job that needs doing. So, and if you've done all of the work, find something else to do, you know, because there's some work that somebody's forgotten. So yeah, they will be refitting, they will be checking the armor, they will be, you know, repainting things, replacing weapons, and etc.
So since they're kind of like ignoring us and putzing around doing their business, I would say Honu maybe stops one of them, like as they're like walking by, like, hey, real quick, like we're looking for, not looking for, sorry, we What are you guys working on with the ship? Like, what happened here?
Just trying to think. Let's see if we can make you roll for it. No,
Situation?
Yeah, I was going to say, if you just roll assess the situation, maybe.
All right. 1 sec.
So
So roll creativity, right?
Creativity, yeah.
Good Lord, I'm not the person to be doing that one, but okay. I rolled 2 to die for that, right?
So yeah, 2d6 for everything.
All right, gotcha.
What did you get?
Oh no.
Well, without the -1, without the -1, I got a 3, so I got a 2. The guy just keeps walking. Guaranteed. Oh God.
Okay, so the guy just kind of looks at you, sneers, just amateurs, and just kind of walks off.
Yeah. Let me try something.
Mm-hmm. You've got the lizard. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me try something.
Normally that's a metaphor for something, but it's not here.
There's a couple of ways we could go about this. I will tap on the shoulder of one of the crewmates going by and pull out a bottle of rum.
His eyes light up.
I'm looking for work. Do you have any here on the ship? Who do I talk to?
Okay, well, this guy, yeah, he looks.
You could do plead. You could do plead.
Yes.
You want me to plead?
Yes, I want you to plead.
What is that with what?
Harmony.
Harmony.
Harmony. Oh, I got a +1 on that one.
Ooh.
Oh no.
God.
That's a 4.
It's gonna be one of those days, ain't it,
4.
folks?
That's a 4. Do I get advantage with? No, I don't know if there's advantage in this.
No, not. No, there is not.
Just remember, I have a rum in my hand.
Okay. Jeez. Well, he goes. Oh, I don't know. What are you willing to pay? He doesn't. He just holds his hand out for the rum. So,
give me a name and I'll hand you the rum.
that's not.
Roll for intimidation with passion. No, that's intimidate's a move.
All right, I'll hand him the rum.
He just picks the cork
It's
out with
good
his
stuff
teeth.
too. I don't drink the cheap stuff.
Yeah. He doesn't actually say any names. He says nothing to you. He just walks off, and then points further up the deck.
Okay.
And with that roll, I'm afraid that's all you get.
Yep. One of those days. Come on, dice.
Oh my God, we're doing great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a direction, so I'll head that direction.
Walk
And
up.
as you move up, you see there's this really stern-looking, what's it called? Female officer, dressed in light blues, so it might give a hint as to their Hujamaflop, their leanings, and everybody makes their way around her. You know, they are studiously avoiding eye contact, and you know, doing everything they can to not disturb.
All right. I think I'm gonna go towards my, you're gonna see like Xing's face like flatten out, no laughter, no nothing. Like this is business now. And go up to the captain and say, "Captain." I assume they're the captain.
I was gonna say.
That's a big assumption.
No one insult someone if they're not. I mean,
yeah, but it's also if I call them captain and I think they're captain, then they might actually be like,
true.
"Oh yeah, no, okay, yeah." Looking for work.
Well, No, this is not the captain.
Yes, but you look like the captain, so I think that is a little bit of a, you know, it's a benefit.
He's saying, stop flirting. Listen.
Turns around and says, "Stand straight when you're talking to me."
You see him stand straight up. He listens to orders.
Mongoose Lizard is like,
yep.
and his bin is there. Bin is like goes, totally suppressing like.
Yeah, no, Xing's used to this formality type stuff, so.
So she's just quite a short woman, just stares at all three, or all four of you, I suppose. Lingers on Bin, looks you up and down.
Does he have his shirt on? Because that is key in this situation.
It's probably something a little husher to Jason that's probably open. It's on-ish.
Look, we don't know what she's into.
I'm saying, you shot your shot, but Ben might be winning this one. I'm sorry. I mean, look at this guy.
As she looks at Ben, and Ben's like,
Hey.
Sup? Yo.
You look like you can use some extra hands.
Did you just call me captain?
I did. You look like a captain.
Well, I should be.
Mm. Well,
what you say you want work? What kind of work? You don't look. Again, looks at Bin. You don't look very good at work.
Well, that one, yeah, can be questionable at times, but I keep him in line. Don't worry. Whatever you need done, that's what we'll do.
Ben just does kind of leans over. I do like a little bit of a one of the fire knives and goes, "I see you got some metal out there that may need some fixing." And just kind of pulls it back like.
Ooh. See, bearing in mind, and maybe these guys fight the Fire Nation quite regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna lean forward and say, "I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that." You know, just do that thing.
He definitely just went like.
We can get some inside information for you.
That kind of.
Ooh, sorry, Eric. You look like you want to say something. Say it.
No, like it's tense, and Ben's just like. Like he's like all like red, suppressing laughter. Like the tenser it gets, the more uncomfortable he is. He's like.
I know information is also a way to work.
So, whilst she pays attention to you, Xing, and without looking away, you know, whilst you're talking, she just kind of flicks her fingers, and just a massive splash of water just goes all over Ben, and just.
I let out a little bit of a chuckle.
I've been wanting to do that for a couple of days now. So thank you, honestly.
You hear the mongoose lizard hiss laughing?
Honu just goes.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, Eric?
I was gonna say, you see Ben just like really subtle, like all of a sudden you see like just like a little bit of steam come up and just makes a little bit of heat. Not a lot, like there's no steam, but just like a little bit.
Drying
like hair's kind of dry already. Like.
Well, she looks at you. Sorry.
Fluffs it back up a little bit.
Gotta look good.
She looks at you, Xing, says, and clearly your words resonate. What do you mean information? What makes you think I need information?
You want to be captain. Usually the captain has to have all the information. More information than most.
You think that you are intelligence gatherers? Is that right? She smiles, and intelligence gatherers, in my experience, tend to be a bit more subtle than walking up to somebody they've never met before and offering.
It's more of a whatever you need us to do.
Bearing in mind there are still lots of people walking around all around you, guys.
It was more of a, hey, we're multifaceted. We could do many jobs, many different types of jobs.
Many different types of jobs. She looks around, barks a few orders at people, and just and says, "And follow me," and walks into one of the cabins.
Ooh.
And goes, and there's a desk in one corner. Yeah, this is clearly a working officers' quarters. Very, prim and proper, very organized. Table nailed down so it doesn't slide around.
You see, he's saying loves the organization. He just it's just like flabbergasted. Like, I love this organization over here. The way you've taken the files and the scrolls and organized them, but all in his head.
Yeah, of course, all in his head. So she goes around and sits down at the desk and says, "My name is Fern. I think you'll find I am the first mate of the Pie Howler. So you were lucky that you didn't ask one of the cabin boys for directions. Now, what do you mean, information? What information?"
Any type of information. We can find out anything you may need us to find out, anything that you need to know. We hear there's some tension going on between different factions here.
Change in leadership. There's a lot going on here, Fern, as you know.
Yeah, she kind of, pardon me, she grimaces at that, sneers. Yeah, you're not wrong. There's been a change of the hierarchy around here. People who were good at their jobs were removed. Other people who were also good at their jobs were overlooked. Certain outsiders get promoted to positions they might not deserve. Yes, it's been a bit chaotic around here. Yeah, but this is a very dangerous business, walking up to people offering services. I mean, I don't know who you are.
As Fern's saying that, is there like a map area or something like shiny and looking more important?
Sorry, a mat area?
Like a navigation, like a navigation
map. Sorry, I thought you said mat. It's like, what, a mat on the floor? What? A carpet? Yeah, a map. Yes, there's a map just on her desk, again, nailed into place so it's open. You see...
Well, I'm definitely off somewhere to the side, but trying to pick something that's somewhat shiny and important. And as she's saying that, I'm kind of like playing with a little bit. Like, totally not appearing to listen, but the second she mentions the comment about like people being brought in, but some people being overlooked, and I definitely throw out like, well, sometimes having some outside eyes, some outside ears can help those who get overlooked stand out the right way.
Fern, Water Nation to Water Nation here. You seem a little salty.
I'll be here all week. Trying to steal.
You seem like, oh, really? like good.
And that's it for this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Tell us why did you get overlooked? Because that's what you're saying. Like, let's just cut the crap. What what happened here with you?
Maybe we can help.
I think, right, who's leading this one? I think somebody needs to roll push your luck, because let's face it, this is you are being extremely
How about
straightforward?
I'll roll it because she really doesn't like me. So if she's not trusting anybody, I think I'm the doofus right now.
Yeah, fair play, fair play.
Come on, Fire Nation dice, do your thing. And that, my friends, is how we roll the dice. Woo! So push your luck is a passion. Passion for me is a +1, so that would be a 13.
Yeah. You got higher than a 4? Yeah.
12 on the dice, +1 for passion.
Yay!
Yeah.
So push my luck. I pushed it. I pushed it.
I know, right?
You know why? Because I used the fancy Fire Nation dice.
That somebody didn't get with the Kickstarter.
I got the regular ones, not the metallic ones.
Oh yeah. See, I'm rolling the. Although they didn't do
like
so good, so
these are just so pretty.
They are very pretty.
Dice. Anyway, so rather than roleplay it all out, I'll just tell you, because I there's a lot for me to remember, and I kind of basically she 13 plus, you say?
I have 12 on the dice +1.
How much higher can you roll?
Yeah, wait, yeah.
Depends what the pluses are.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah. Being spoken to from a fellow waterbender and Bin's, you know, intelligent comment in spite of his buffoonish exterior and Hushing's militaristic approach. You know, between the three of you, you know, maybe you've caught her on a good day. I don't know. We're just going to go.
It's the salty pun. Let's keep it.
It's the salty pun. Yeah, exactly. It was the part that just killed all of us inside slightly. That brought her up, brought her out of her shell. So yeah, she goes into quite the detail about how the former pirate captain Kangana was booted out by the current captain of the Pyre Howler, Ninka, who has become the high captain, and how Fern thought that, well, she had been first mate on the Pyre Howler for several years. You know, the natural order of things is, you know, when the captain goes, you know, it's a democratic system around here. You know, as soon as the most senior one who's still alive gets the job, in theory. But then Ninka came along, seemingly out of nowhere. You know, just a bit like you guys. She slips in, and just raised a little cult following of her own, and took over the show, got Kangana kicked out, and all of a sudden has everybody running to her orders. She's got a huge vendetta against the Fire Nation for some reason. I mean, let's face it, nobody around these parts is huge fans of the Fire Nation, but there's not being fans and there's whilst you do that, she just makes sure that her window opens slightly so that, you know, and you can hear the waves outside, so that there is a supply of water to come in just in case. But yeah, so nobody is the Fire Nation's biggest fans around here, but Ninka has a chip on her shoulder. There is something she is after. She wants more. She seemingly wants more than just the usual piratical chaos and plunder. She's out. She has designs, but what those designs are, Fern doesn't know because, you know, not the best of friends. Fern's a soldier. She'll do what she's ordered to do, but they aren't going to go down the bar with the mongoose lizard and talk about life, the universe, and everything.
That's a shame. So out of character, just to remember, the stuff that got stolen is supposed to be going to the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be, yeah.
Okay. So it's not that we're working for the Fire Nation necessarily. It's that we're trying to make sure everything goes back to kind of the order that it was beforehand, which sounds like what this person kind of wants.
Yeah, so the stuff that was stolen was part of a treaty between the Fire Nation and the Earth Kingdom. And because it's gone missing, a diplomatic incident is developing, and it could lead to war,
which leads to chaos. You know, in the pirates kind of. Yeah. At least in this person's opinion, it'd be more chaos.
It would, yeah, it would cause a lot of damage to the Fire Nation and its ability to do anything so soon after, you know, the Sozin's Comet incident.
So do we think if we can get this, if we let them know that, hey, look, like if we can get this back to the original owners.
Can I make a play?
Yeah, go ahead. So
seeing that once Ben sees that what he said kind of landed the right way, I'm going to be, kind of like refocus a little bit on Fern and say, look, right? Like Xing said, right? There are times that we, being a little bit more of an independent kind of crew, have an ability to pick up things when we're out on the waves, when we're important. What we understand is that there's been some significant disturbance caused that something happened between Fire Nation and the Earth Nation. And all I know and what we've heard is that it's probably going down somewhere in this port where it's related to, and that's drawing a lot of attention, a lot more attention than probably any of these crews seen since before the war ended. And I don't know if any of the crews here want that kind of attention. And when you've got that kind of attention coming in, and like you've said, Ninka has some kind of grudge, that could play out really well. That could cause a lot of problems. And you seem like someone who's interested in maintaining a good living and avoiding those kinds of problems. It's one thing to upset a naval officer. It's one thing to upset some private shipping. It's another thing to piss off the Fire Nation Navy and the Earth Nation. And you seem like someone who's looking to work with the former and avoid the latter. And we can help with that. But, right, we've got some limitations of our own. We're trying to we want to help this. We've got some information, some ideas, and we're looking for people who are interested to help this work, to help us make this happen.
Is that all in character?
Yes, that was all in character.
That was Ben? Okay. All right.
He can get it done.
It's a schmooze. He's all charisma all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's typically a doof, but he's still charisma.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll have to roll for this, but like I'm kind of asking Fern, I guess out of curiosity too, is like from what you're saying, there was like a way of doing things. Like I know she has her followers, but like how many people actually like her? You know, if that, it seems like you can't be the only one who kind of thought with the way things were working before was okay. Does that make sense the way I just said it?
Yeah, I think so. So she kind of leans forwards on a desk, you know, steeples her fingers, says, let me give you a little piece of advice. You clearly have a lot more going on than meets the eye, but you are still in the middle of a fleet of ships surrounded by pirates, all of whom have their own agendas and allegiances. Be careful who you offer services to, because I, although sympathetic to some of what you say, have duties, and some of those duties involve putting people in cages. And I've just heard what that sounded like. That was not intended to be. Putting people in the brig. Does that answer that question? And she just kind of looks at you and says, you've made your point. Don't push it, because there are eyes and ears everywhere.
Finn just smiles and goes, but one rule on the sea is that no pirate has a duty higher than the duty to themselves. and says that and takes a step back to like go looking at whatever trinket he was looking at. Back, like ADHD has now flared. Here's something shiny he's going back to.
Dang.
So what can we do for you?
So before we do that, so what's Ben's so survival, that is that, so I've already know, yeah, Ben. Something
okay.
Living up to principles here. What's Ben's principle? And let's see if we can focus on some of these things. Bad habits. Yeah, I mean, so
Daredevil, charming insults of dangerous people and cons. I mean, those are my go-to. And the last two are kind of coming in like I'm not being insulting, but I'm definitely pushing the edge. And this is totally a con. I mean, that's what the whole job is as a pirate.
Yeah, fair play, fair play. When you indulge in a bad habit on your own, shift your balance towards survival and roll with survival. When you indulge in a bad habit with a friend. Because I think, yeah, a con is yeah, definitely a bad habit. So yeah, roll with survival. So at the moment, that is just a straight up die roll. Because you've got...
Not bad. 7 on the die.
7. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. On a hit, you pull it off of anything. Shift. Okay, cool. So shift your balance towards survival then. So that means that now anytime you roll anything with survival, you'll get +1. But if you want to roll anything with friendship, you'll get the -1.
Okay.
Okay. But then you've also got your balance moves, which you could resist shifting your balance, clear conditions, and stuff like that. And if you were to roll with friendship and do that, that would bring you back to center, kind of thing.
Okay.
And don't forget, you've also got your growth questions and advancements to keep aware of, which I keep forgetting about. Okay, so you've asked her, Charlene, I think you just asked what she needs from you. Is that right?
Is there anything we can do to you to kind of, you don't know who we are, so put us to the test.
Can I just say this is not at all how I would approach a pirate? Just between you and me, I would not just walk into an office and go, "Here I am. You can totally trust me. We know all of these political things."
Well, but they're not even political things right now. I mean, it's a whole bunch of scuttlebutt that's going around. I mean, everybody can't not be talked about. Now, the details we can make up, but I mean, this has got to be a conversation going on in and amongst land somewhere.
I was gonna say, and he's saying like he's not gonna be like real subtle about it. He's like, these are the people that are supposed to be in charge. They're not. How do we make it happen? Because again, that's literally like serving and defending rightful rulers.
And overthrowing tyrants. Yeah,
exactly. So he's just gonna go straight for it and be like, "This is what it's supposed to be. It's not that way. So let's find somebody who can." Look, I'm a straight shooter. Maybe it'll get me killed one day. Hasn't so far.
But you'll have to go through Balbo first.
And every time he sees it, I imagine him like in the back, just kind of like doing that legend thing where he licks his eyes clean.
Yeah.
What did I do? Why? I was trying to be a good person.
Ask every GM at any given point.
Exactly.
Okay, well, still sitting like this, you can see the wheels just go. She's playing she's plotting every single chess move to its ultimate conclusion, and then starting the game all over again. So a few times she looks as if she's about to say something, and then stops, and then you say you can provide information. It sounds to me like you already have some information that you could impart.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
What might that be?
Well, you just said not to trust anybody. How do I know I can trust you?
You can't. This is my ship. Or it should be. Yes, Eric, you are indeed likely under the poop deck.
This is why I picked Finn, y'all.
Yes, poop. There's a strange smell just hanging over everything. It's no, you can't. But I don't need you to trust me. I can put you in the brig anytime I like.
Right.
In fact, and then she looks towards the door, and I can call somebody right now.
You could.
This isn't about you trusting me. This is about me trusting you.
What information are you looking for?
I believe you've already asked me that question, and I am saying, what information do you have?
No. Sorry. I literally ADHD forgot I even said that.
So at this point, true to character, I would say Honu would kind of step in front of both Bin and Xing, kind of like almost in like a protective stance of like, listen, you're absolutely, and saying this to Fern, listen, you could absolutely throw us in the brig, right? That is not past us at this point. It is obvious you have a lot of pull around here as first mate. That would be a waste of your time at this point. What we can tell you about information you might want is that we have a common interest here, possibly, of you liking things the way things were. We also liked things the way things were. Maybe we can work together, or you can throw us away in the brig and you have just lost potential allies.
You have, Emily, on your sheet, you've got a special move for Honu, Suspicious Mind.
Yes, I do.
That might be a good one to give a try at this particular.
All right, cool. So I have to roll with focus then. I get to do +3. Word. Okay, we've got 13 then.
hold on 10 plus 2. Spend your so you can.
Well, actually, yeah. So the question I get to ask, there's a list of, just for the sake of people watching, there's a list of 5 questions I can choose from with suspicious mind. Since I rolled a 13, I get to I get to ask 2 of these questions, I believe. So the one question I would really like to ask is, what do you really want right now? Because I guess that kind of goes with like the information part of things. And we already know she was telling the truth because of how she seemed to connect with, I think it was Bin's character after that role. So just the second question, I guess, what are you about to do would be the second one. So I guess the first question would be, I'm so sorry, I just blanked. Here we are, guys. Sunday afternoon. First question would be basically like, what do you want? Like, what do you really want right now is the first question.
Okay. Well, I make no secret that I think I should have been elected captain of the Fire Howler. The High Captain position I can take or leave, but the one tends to come with the other. This Ninka character is causing a lot of trouble, and what I want is to just go about the life of a pirate without all of the political machinations Ninka has brought with her. What was the second one? What are you
asking the other question?
Yeah.
Which is, what are you about to do? And I don't mean with, I don't know if I can like specify, but I'm going to, and you can tell me if it's not allowed or not. Specifying though, not with us of what you're about to do, but like in general, like obviously there's hubbub around the ship and there's dissent here. So like, what are you about to do when it comes to this pirate captain situation?
She looks over all of you again, looking Bin up and down as he's just fiddling with things, and you can see that she's trying very hard not to tell you to leave things alone. She looks Balbo up and down. Is that mongoose lizard drunk?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Oh, okay. Could have fooled me. You are not the only people here who have information, and a little whisper recently reached me that the young upstart Firelord had sent some spies to the Crimson Sails looking for certain goods. Now, if...
And the second she says it, I snicker, by the way. I'm like, and you see me going like that little schmuck? Yeah, sure, great. Yeah, keep going. And just keep like...
Roll deception. No, sorry. It's not the system.
Oh, is that? Oh, well, you say it's not the system, but there is one that says trick. Oh, but no, that's slightly different. Okay,
yeah.
I've got dice in hand. You let me know.
Yeah, no, that's
ready.
No, that's a bit not quite the same thing. Alas, we could do that later.
You're also assuming that I like Zuko, so that may not be a trick. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah. Well, no, I think trick in this case is more along the lines of, oh, lost Emily.
Yeah, I don't know why it does this like every single time. Can you guys hear me still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't know why it does this. Like for like a sec, I was probably frozen the whole time too, but here we are. I'm back.
So she says, if these spies were to mess with the status quo whilst they are executing their mission, perhaps I would use that to my advantage. Is how she answers the "what are you about to do?" if that's not too vague. kind of looks over you, waiting for somebody else to. This is very much a dancing around each other. We both know what we're saying, but you on a ship. It doesn't matter how subtle you try to be. There are people who will be able to hear. It's just whether or not they're listening.
Hmm.
So with that response, how are you going to respond? How are you guys going to take it? Because what she's saying is basically, yeah, I know who you are. I know what you're here for. I can't openly say it, so I need you to take the initiative on this one.
Hmm.
Well, like any good crew, it's important that we get direction from someone who knows what's going on, who knows where to point us, where we can be most effective. That's important for any good crew. So sometimes a heading helps.
Okay. I think what we're going to do. I saw something I wanted to try a little while ago, and I forgot what it was. These sheets are really good. I do like these sheets, by the way.
Mhm.
The fact
Yeah,
that you've got the entire thing.
I'm constantly like every time you see me this, I'm usually reading that sheet.
No, I can't see it. Whichever one it was, I was.
Are you looking for Nick? How am I selling this?
Possibly, yeah, basically.
Because one of Bin's moves is Roguish Charm. So instead of
yes, that's the one I was looking for. That's why I couldn't see it on this sheet. I'm sure I saw something a minute ago. Where is it? Yes, that's that's where it is.
So Roguish Charm, guide and comfort someone by flattery, then empathize with them.
I mean, that's
so.
And you can mark one fatigue to roll with creativity instead of harmony, if you prefer.
And I'll take that. I'll take.
Yeah, I thought you might.
A little bit of fire breath. See how it goes. 10 on the die. That gives me a 12.
12. Yeah. So that is. Okay, so play that. God. And now the problem is because I've got please blah blah blah. Okay, so she stands up and walks over, beckons you towards the door, and says, and I had it all worked out in my head a moment ago, and now as soon as it's time for me to actually say it, it's just disappeared from my brain, and says. A certain shipment was captured recently. I'm sure nobody would be interested in it, but if there were an interested party, they might like to know that it is due to be moved tomorrow. So if it were to be, if that interested party wanted to requisition it for themselves, there is a limited window of opportunity. And she just opens the door and points.
Now, and again, just to make sure, pointing at anything else or pointing for us out?
Out.
Just the door goes, and that's what I just wanted to make sure she wasn't pointing in like a certain direction.
Yeah, like at a boat.
No, but bearing in mind you're under the you're under the poop deck. So she just points, just get out of here. All you can see are sailors working, trees, on land, just Tortuga, or the place from Hook, the pirate village from Hook. that looks to be all you're going to get from her. You haven't necessarily. It feels like you've made a half ally, somebody who will not work against you, but at the same time has to keep up appearances, so to speak. And as
the vibe we kind of got for her, just to like clarify, was pretty much she knows who we are and probably will not get in our way.
Essentially, yeah,
okay.
Basically. And obviously,
with her point, I'm like, and I kind of like start strolling out to back to our boat.
She just waves her hands, and another wave of water just lands all over Ben.
I do whatever the appropriate pirate salute is, as we, go out. I can't imagine it's like super military, but at the same time, like, whatever type of respect to kind of communicate that.
She appreciates that, and she returns it. She's very much more on the militaristic side of Xing and the serious side of Honu, whereas Ben, I mean, if this were the cartoon, you and I would both know that every time you two meet, you are going to get covered in water at some point.
And every time Ben just kind of like flicks off his hair, and there's a little bit of heat, there's a little bit of steam, dries himself off a little bit.
And as
like
Ira
warming up his tea.
As we come out, you get in suspicious looks from everybody. You're outsiders on a ship, which is, they're sailors. Sailors are a suspicious bunch anyway. But the fact that you just had a prolonged meeting with the first mate as well, you may have made one half ally, but you haven't won over the crew. Certainly not yet. And I've just realized that we've got to call it a day fairly soon-ish, and being as that to me sounds like a fairly clean-cut place to leave it. Should we call it a day there and have a chat for 5 minutes, and then, unless there's something you guys want to do /
There's one thing I was going to try and say for the crew.
Oh God.
And what's the name of the tavern that we were at? Or any tavern? It doesn't have to have a specific name. I don't know if it had a specific name.
I don't think it did, as I recall. Did it?
Hold on, I can look back. We just know it was a floating bar. That's all we have.
Yeah, I think it was just a bar. I don't think it was. It's now got that sign: no mongoose lizards, no seriously.
Yeah. Well, I might have to sit out, but 6 p.m. round of drinks, and I walk off the boat.
Fair play. That gets people's interest. That kind of thing where everything stops. They look up, look at each other, and then carry on working.
And the second Xing says that, I kind of look at him and I just do like a quick mental count of, I'm looking at people like up on mast on the side, and it's kind of like, there's like 3 dozen people here.
I'll figure it out.
Hey,
pirates. Buy them with alcohol.
Pirates.
And then you just see Honu in the back, like shaking her head, like just following up, like.
And Ben's also shaking his head, and Honu's just like, the two of you, and Ben's like, cake eaters.
I think that's Honu's just normal state, isn't it? Now, just
like
why? Just
because I would totally forget I would totally forget the detail about the crew if we stopped and started again next time. So I figured if I could do that.
I'm
done.
There we go.
So we have to remember to start back on the boat, i.e. our boat, and discussing about how we want to, knowing that this is time sensitive, and figure out how we're going to figure out how things are being moved and where.
I honestly think your dude is going to be a good asset if we can get him on our side. He's going to know the ins and the outs, and he's not. We know he's not on the side of the new guys.
Tag in the Mosai.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we pick up with that. Like that's like something I think is important to start with that. Like we got to start with a rap session back on the boat to figure out what our next move is.
Yep.
Making a note.
Cool. My brain, I don't know why, but my brain has gone completely blank in the past few minutes. I had lots of follow-up things to say. What should we talk about? But it's
Did
gone.
you want to hit on the growth stuff?
Okay. On the host stuff, sorry?
The growth aspect of the game.
Growth questions, that's the one. Yes, thank you. So, growth questions. Did you learn something challenging, exciting, or complicated about the world? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Did you stop a dangerous threat or solve a community problem? I wouldn't go that far. Did you guide a companion towards balance or end the session at your center? Well, 2 of you did. Bin didn't.
As a side note, if you have Bin's sheet, look at Bin's primary growth question.
Did you get a friend to join in or prove?
Bin's primary growth question is: did you get a friend to join in or approve of one of your bad habits?
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I'm being that like there was definitely some passive acceptance of the complete
the whole
that Bin was running.
Yeah. Now, in mine's, did you accomplish a feat worthy of your burden and tradition? I was straight shooting, just being like, this is who should be in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say you go with that.
And then mine goes, did you pursue a desire or a goal of your own outside of protecting others? And I would say, actually, no, I did not. It was for the good of the group the whole time. And
I mean, one thing I would say is, but again, I think we said this at the end of last session, now that I remember it, but 3 months, is trying to be aware of some of this as we, throughout the session, because, putting yourself in a situation where to make sure that you do some of those things, in spite of anything I say or do or don't do. It's just.
So maybe it may not be bad to before we start jumping into character or rolling dice next session, to maybe do a quick group recap of what the growth questions are generically, what the individual growth questions and the growth advancements are.
Yeah.
Like a real quick, just so as we're having these conversations, we can start fitting these ideas in.
Yeah.
So in September, when we next get together, we'll.
Oh God, yeah, that would be the equivalent, right?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Well, I mean, it is time of recording. It's the 23rd of June. 3 days' time, we will be closer to next Christmas than last Christmas.
Ew.
I wasn't gonna say you, but all right, yeah.
I love me some Christmas. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also. It just became summer. What 3 days?
Yeah.
3 days ago?
Right?
So yeah, it's. I mean, yeah. So time is just a thing that happens apparently.
So to clarify, just for the game, the idea with these growth questions is setting up your character in certain situations to meet that or to hit that goal. That's so interesting because with mine, pursuing a desire or goal of your own outside of protecting others, that's inherently. I'm not trying to complain about it, but I'm a newer player to RPG stuff. So me kind of going out on my own and doing things of my character's own interest is a lot harder to do because I usually like to let people who are more experienced take the lead. So here I am. I'm like, ooh, that's pushing the envelope a little bit here. So we'll see how it goes.
But I think it's interesting, right? and even Xing, like, it sounds like in all three of those individual growth questions, none of them, again, they're individual growth points, not communal growth points, right? I mean, mine is to get the rest of y'all to engage in my depravity. I mean, it's right. I mean, that's Bin's growth point. So I think it's interesting because, like, exactly what you're saying. I think all three of us, our growth points, our individual growth points, are counter potentially group interests.
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to say too about the growth question, that would be a really good place therapeutically. So, like, if you're a person who is usually a group follower or doesn't really go outside of, you know, the social norms and things like that, that would be a really, really good goal for someone who's trying to, like, you know, go outside themselves and advocate for things that they need instead of what the whole group needs and things like that. So I think that spot itself with the personal growth questions, if you're writing it from scratch, like, I would take, you know, whatever the player's character that they're building and be like, all right, what is your main goal here? That's where I would put that, you know, into the character's backstory. Because if that's the growth question throughout the whole entire game that you're trying to hit every time, it's literally called a growth question.
Well, like, and therapeutically, like, when we talk about working with the client to develop personal goals, right? I think, right, that what are the goals that the client's identifying that they're trying to work on? And I think that becomes the characters, you know, how do we translate that client goal into the character growth concept? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what, like, if you with your, Emily, can you repeat what your growth goal is again for your character?
Yeah, sure. The growth question is, did you pursue a desire or a goal of your own outside of protecting others?
Yeah. So, like, someone to me who has a lot of trauma background is going to be taking care of a lot of other people instead of doing what they want and what they need and then setting boundaries for themselves. So that would be a way, you know, and if their therapeutic goal would be to, okay, I need to speak up for what I need, what I want, and then directly translate to that goal. And you can act through that goal. So it's literally like one that I would honestly use.
Yeah, I mean, for Honu, right, I'm hearing, you know, here's somebody who's a people pleaser. How do you act not in the intention of a people pleaser, but, and even for Ben, right, with the idea of to get a friend to join in or approve of one of your bad habits, right? I mean, to what extent, like, again, the whole bad habit thing becomes this interpretive idea. But if we're talking about someone who historically has a difficulty making connection, establishing connection,
it's approval,
right?
It's please like me. Look,
yeah.
You know, how have you prioritized connection and not just done something that you've enjoyed? How have you prioritized connection to get someone to want to join you?
Well, it's also like, please like me, even a part of me that I might not be the most proud of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. I like that.
If that's not a therapeutic goal, you know, anybody who has ADHD or any type of, like, you know, neurodiversity who gets told that they do stuff wrong all the time or they're annoying or talk too much, you know, that type of stuff.
What? You became a therapist?
Then that would be a perfect goal for someone like that to figure out that that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, it's appropriate sometimes, not appropriate others. You know,
context.
Correct.
Now the trick is going to be getting ND crew to want to play a TTRPG.
Yeah, I mean, that's never going to happen.
Never.
No, that cell's never gonna work.
No. It's so unlikely. I can't believe you even thought about it. I mean, that's just, yeah.
You know, I'm trying to think about, did you accomplish a feat worthy of your burden and tradition? And my burden and tradition is very much Overthrowing tyrants. I'm trying to think of what mental health goal could be connected to.
Yeah, what are your burden? What is your burden and tradition?
So my responsibilities are overthrowing tyrants, serving and defending rightful rulers, providing aid and succor, how do you say that, to the downtrodden. I can never refuse a earnest request for help, never steal or cheat, never withheld forgiveness.
So yeah,
yeah.
So basically living in accordance with your morals.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is like if I was somebody that didn't know what my morals were for whatever X, Y, and Z reason.
Well, but also, I mean, how often, whether it's us or people that we've worked with, you know, they've made decisions not based off of what is important for their outcome, but they've made decisions based off of what's important for other people's outcome. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I mean, there's half a dozen examples quickly come to mind working, you know, with client content. But, you know, I mean, how often do we talk with people that they're making decisions not based off what they want or what they need, but off of the systems that they're in.
Yeah.
Whether it's a family system, a social system.
Yeah.
So, right. So like just sticking with your morals, sticking with your perception and your needs, right? Prioritizing you, not in a narcissistic way, but in a safety way.
Yeah.
Taking care of yourself.
Which is a lot of times when you get people with anxiety, a lot of people with anxiety worry that they're going to be narcissists. And so if they stand up for themselves or set boundaries or whatever, and it's like, well, actually, you literally can't be a narcissist if you're worried.
If you're worried about being a narcissist. That's
Congratulations.
my exact line whenever they say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, so you're worried about being a narcissist? Yeah, then you're not a narcissist.
And like actually before you even talked about the like what your burden and tradition was, when I first read that growth question, my mind actually immediately went to someone who's like a perfectionist and puts like extreme pressure on themselves of like, it's never enough, it's never enough, it's never enough. So it's like, well, within this campaign, like, did you meet something that was like, okay, it does fit your morals, it wasn't a huge act, which it doesn't always have to be, you know, kind of like it was enough in that moment. And then given the tradition and thing is like, that could be used for a client who you know, maybe is starting to differentiate from like the morals and standards of like what their family was, right? Because they're like hitting that age where it's like, maybe I'm a little different than how I was raised and things like that. I want to honor parts of it and I want to be different than parts of it.
Well, and again, specifically for Xing, he's got that constant fight between his role, you know, those burdens and traditions, and his yearning for freedom. And that's, you know, literally the balance that you're trying to keep.
But even like zooming out a bit, like like kind of bouncing off what Charlene was saying initially, right? Especially if we're designing, helping a client develop a character, but also if we're developing the adventure, the journey that's going on, and it gives us an opportunity to develop growth questions for that, you know, module, for that adventure, and really, you know, hone in on what that group collectively is trying to accomplish. Like, you know, why are these people, what do I see as collective needs of the clients in this group? And, you know, knowing all the individual pieces.
Yeah. And that's, you know, as the GM, that's where I love starting building a campaign, because that gives me so many ideas, like for opportunities, like in the story. Like you can create so many opportunities for each one of those things in a story. And if you keep it in mind, even if you don't build it into the story initially, if you keep it in mind as you're playing and you see the opportunity, you can go, oh, this is a great opportunity. Let me make sure, you know, I push it this way, you know, a little bit of railroading, but, you know, it's a therapeutic game.
If you can't railroad your clients, who can you railroad?
Well, and but in that railroading, and I'll jump out with a little, you know, self-disclosure, right? With me playing Ben, right? My mind thinks this way. but how my mind thinks and how I'm externally presenting is completely different. Like, you know, and that's right. Providing those environments for our clients sometimes, right? I love my brain is constantly working the con, is constantly working the end. But I personally am uncomfortable being in that brazen. It's not something I'm going to do innately.
Yeah.
And that's what this environment's all about, providing those moments, right, for the client to test out that. Yeah. Right. Sometimes it's a little bit by the dice, and that's where the game fun comes in. It's like, how did it go? It's like, well, I just rolled a 13 out of 12, so woo! That's how that went.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it gives you that. But you know, as putting ourselves in the moment of the client, in the role of the client by playing the PCs. But that's also what, you know, TTRPGs are all about, right? Not just playing the character, but a lot of times, you know, how are we connecting to these characters, and what are the parts of me that I like that I sure as hell don't bring out in the everyday world because I'm not comfortable with them. They're not refined. I don't know if they're accepted, and that's what time at the table and what the dice is all about.
Yeah, and that's what I was just about to say. Balbo, my mongoose lizard, is totally me, like personally, like chaos gremlin, like I'm gonna go eat the ice cream truck.
No, I can't. I don't know what you're talking about. There are no correlations there whatsoever.
So I'm actually really kind of glad that I have him as an outlet, because personally, like playing a serious, like straightforward, like that's not how my brain thinks. You know, I am a straightforward person, but not like a serious, straightforward person. So having to stretch my muscles with this character of being, you know, kind of serious and taking things seriously and following the rules and things like that. But Balbo gives me an outlet for when I want to cause a little chaos, because that's fun for me. It's giving me a little bit of an outlet as well. So like it kind of is giving me that dual purpose there, and I really, really like it.
Well, I've just seen the time. I believe some of us have to make tracks rather soon, so probably best if we call it a day there. Do you want to go around, let us know where people can find everybody? Because they'll have forgotten in the past 3 months. 3 months? How has it been 3 months? Good God, guys, come on. Charlene?
You can find me at Nat20 Therapy all over the internet. Should be trademarked in a month and a half. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, also my website, all that fun stuff. I also have a podcast called Mental Health Quest, so you can go check that out. And I think that's all the places you can find me.
Cool. Emily?
Well, as an emerging new therapist here, I don't necessarily have socials where you would find mental health content or anything, just my personals, which I keep personal. So, but you can find me on my professional endeavors on LinkedIn. It's under Emily Miller, so you're probably going to have to scroll through a lot of Emily Miller to find me, but I'm there.
But if you put Avatar Legends on your LinkedIn page, obviously people are just going to find it.
That's true. You'll find me.
Keyword search.
Eric?
Again, like Emily, right, as an emerging therapist, I'm still making it up, right? You know, I've got a little bit of, I'm on LinkedIn as a necessity, because it's kind of, right, the, you know, the digital CD floating in the wind, as it were. But, you know, hopefully in you know, if we're doing a one game every quarter, you know, give me 2 or 3 games. Yeah. No, but I think there's going to be more reporting on my side in games to come. But for right now, you find me here.
Yes.
Hanging out.
And obviously you can find me on this very channel, but monomythcounselling.co.uk, Daniel Hand on Facebook, and Charlene forgot to mention this, both she and I are going to be in San Diego for Comic-Con at the end of July.
That's so fun.
So if anybody's out there and they want to say hi, hi. I am going to die. It is going to be so hot. Look, I spent most of today fanning myself. I don't know what the temperature is here. It's not 70 here, and I've been like this. I'm going to die in San Diego. It's going to absolutely kill me. But I've got a great, appallingly bad hat, which is going to be. And I've got a Hawaiian shirt with dice.
Yes, there you go.
And a Hawaiian shirt with Deadpool and Wolverine. I've been staring at your shirt all day, Eric. As soon as you turned up with it, I was thinking, I should go and put mine on, but then I remembered I was wearing this. I was like, yeah.
I definitely see Ben in some kind of aloha shirt, so that's why I went with it.
Yeah.
Aha. Yes. Very much so. Guys, thanks so much as usual. I'm sorry it's been so long. We're gonna have to do this a bit more regular than that.
Yeah, life happened, I think, with all of us. So
yeah, well,
we'll be back sooner.
We will. But yes, thanks everybody for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the game, the chats, the personalities, and we'll see you soon. So take it easy. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Have a good one. Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah.